When I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry.
What's up guys? Thanks for tuning in for another video. I did my 2 other chicken shine videos. It was already kind of clean. I didn't feel like I give it a very fair chance, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to do a full wash using the red chicken shine. It's over there somewhere. Use that. I'm going to use the yellow one, and then after that I'm going to use the blue one, which I already know how that works. But I want to give it a full chance, full wash, full thing, full shabam. Give you guys every little bit of information you need to know. Before we went riding, it did get coated with the shiner, like every little square inch. That way you have all the information, you know, what I had going on beforehand. The only thing I did was pull it off the trailer, and then I just kind of, with the pressure washer off, just kind of coated it with water. That way everything had a little bit of moisture to it, kind of soak in, makes it a little easier to fall off. All the mud off the tire just kind of fell right off whenever I backed that off the trailer. But we are gonna go ahead and get this shabam going. The instructions on the red chicken shine says to blast off like the bigger parts and then spray it on. So with that being said, that is what we are going to do. And before we do that, we're going to make sure we are recording. So we are going to obviously have the pressure washer going. I might put this next part into a time lapse, or I might not. I'm not sure. I'll probably just leave it in. That way you guys can get the full shebang. If I don't like it during editing, I can make it into a time lapse. You know, headphone users beware. There's going to be a pressure washer. It's going to be really fun to listen to. So here we go. go wipe our feet off in the grass before we just make a mess in the concrete in the garage. We're gonna get the key, we're gonna move it out of the mud. My shoes are still caked in mud. I need to pick a new washing spot. So I'll spray the other side of the tires that are on the ground. Do that real quick, and then we will do the chicken shine special. Ooh. She is dirty. Good enough for me. time for the... Yeah, that was leaking what fell. That's cool. Time for the meat and potatoes. Now you're supposed to spray this from like the bottom to the top. You don't want to let this dry. Just in case you forgot, since I spent about the last half hour spraying this thing down, this is the red chicken shine. The actual cleaner. Apparently if you let it dry, some bad shit can happen. I'm just gonna do little by little. That way I don't screw my shit up. So I will not be scrubbing with that one because I always do a foam can and a scrub. And this is supposed to be able to wash it off with a garden hose from their tiki-takis and all their claims. on this bottle, we're gonna have to do a refill. Go do a little refill action. Oh, this is probably a little dry. Don't look too bad. I don't really like how that's all white. So I don't think it's a bad product, but I don't think it really does everything they try and advertise fully. Oh. So they say you can use it straight out of the bottle, but everybody I've seen basically ends up diluting it. I've also tried it with full strength on, I think it was the first video I did, I think. There's the wrong direction. I mean, tires get all shine. I don't really know what all that's about. There's some nice scratches. I don't think it's a bad product. I think they over advertise what it does, which I could just be part of their marketing. I don't think it does anything really special that any other strong degreaser couldn't do, in my opinion. I mean, there's some people that mix up like a bunch of Zep degreaser with like some Dawn dish soap and laundry softener, I think, or something along those lines. And I believe it works the same, if not better, I believe. So that's what we'll go ahead and do this. See, if this took off all this stuff, like they claim it does in all their little TikToks and what everyone says, I would be very sold on this product. Just I don't know. I don't see the hype personally. I think it's a good product, but not what they make it claim to be. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. This is why I like rocks. You don't get muddy with rocks. You know, spend hours cleaning. for you guys, I'll let it sit here and we'll try the garden hose method. It did take a good amount off, but we is gonna have to scrub it. Which part of it? On the bottle it does say some areas might need agitation. Also a little pickier than probably the average person is. Oh shit, here we go again. So it's actually working pretty good on the interior. Compared to the last couple times I've used it. I mean, I guess I can give it a little bit more credit. It did do pretty good on the interior. So I'm not real sold on the exterior part of it. Now this here is the Chicken Shine shampoo. I mixed it. What did I mix it? I don't know, somewhere in between 1 or 2 parts Chicken Shine, like 5 or 6 parts water, I think. I think I did it on the heavier side. about how long one GoPro battery lasts. Fun fact. Which seems to happen every time I try to make a non-stop video, but here we are. As you saw previously, used the red chicken shine, and then about right before the battery died, I foamed it up real good nice with the chicken shine shampoo, which it does actually foam up really nice. Or I don't know, I only put that much in the foam cannon, and it's a normal foam cannon. And then all you missed was just me scrubbing it with my little microfiber brushy deal. And then I spent 20-30 minutes spraying out my skid plate. That's about all you missed, other than me pulling it in here. But this is how it looks. Some spots better, some spots worse. Oh, I mean, she's clean. You're not gonna get these things 100% spotless whenever you sit there and keep going riding. She's pretty clean. So I think the chicken shine, the red one, the cleaner, I definitely think it works. I think it does a job. It's definitely not spray on, spray off, and it looks brand new. It definitely helps. But also, you know, I'm a little extra how I want mine clean. So I'll sit there and pressure wash a little extra and whatnot. It's like, you're not cleaning this with a garden hose and that. Maybe if you use an entire gallon, you might get close, but no, you're just not. I don't know what kind of mud or whatnot they got wherever they're doing that, but it ain't working here. I want to try the Zep degreaser, cleaner, whatever the hell it's called. I want to try that. Probably whenever I run out of that, since I bought it, might as well use it. I'll probably do a little comparison on that one, see how it works, because I'm 99% sure that's just a degreaser. Did that. Shampoo. I don't know, it's mentioned something about putting oils back in plastic or making the plastic all shiny or something along those lines. You saw this thing when it was dry after doing the red shit, and I don't really see any of the difference. That's still, I mean, yeah, I don't really see a difference, to be completely honest. So, I mean, chicken shine, it does work, kind of. Not, I mean, it works. It's not up to what they say it does. As far as shampooer, I would have to look at a price compared to a normal soap to really know if that one's worth it or not. You guys can do that. I'm sure you have your favorite soap or whatnot you can use. It might be cheaper just to buy a normal McGuire soap, and it might have like some ceramics or waxes or whatever the hell in it. It might even do a better job for less money. I don't know, because I haven't done the breakdown on that one. I have done the breakdown on the shiner, compared to the McGuire's hyper dressing, which I was previously using, which the McGuire's is water based, and this is I don't know, oil or synthetic. Oh, what are you? You apply. I don't know, oil based, whatever. I didn't see it on there. It says it on their website whenever you look at that one, because the white one that they have is water based. That one was not. Honestly, this is just kind of like a tire shine, to be completely honest. It's definitely a lot cheaper than what the McGuire's hyper dressing was. I was really happy with that, just I wasn't happy with the price, because it would last, McGuire's hyper dressing would last me one spray after I washed and one spray before I went riding, just to put the extra layer on there to help with everything fall off. Meanwhile, I've already done this twice, and that's like $10 more than what the hyper dressing was. And I filled this up and still got, I don't know, well, let's call it a rough half a gallon. So another good couple of uses, so at the bare minimum 50% cheaper using this. I do want to use, I believe it's Superior products over at O'Reilly's, since really all we're doing is using a tire shine to just cover everything, make it all shiny and help things not stick. But that is my current opinion. I've basically shown you everything I can so far in the video on the first two. And whenever I made the other couple videos, which will be up before this one goes live, if I did everything right. We do need some new tree kickers desperately on this clapper. And just in case you don't already know, I do pay for all these products myself. I'm not sponsored, I'm not affiliated, I'm nothing. I'm just a guy in his garage with some units, trying things out, putting the information out for everybody else, playing with all the toys I enjoy playing with. It's like, I'm gonna spend this money one way or another. This ain't for no clout, this ain't to help nobody's business. Just good old honest product reviews. I mean, if someone wants to sponsor me and send me free products, that'd be pretty dope. I don't think they're gonna do that with some random guy with like 29 subscribers though. Maybe one day we'll get there. Well, I guess with that being said, it'd be a good time to say, if you guys made it this far in the video, whether you're skipping through or not, I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you don't mind throwing a like down or subscribing, both of those really help. Trying to grow this channel, get the information and videos out to more people that also like seeing this type of stuff. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, any of the above, absolutely feel free to go ahead and drop that down into the comments. I'm more than happy to answer those when I see them. Sometimes I do miss them for a little bit, but I will eventually reply. Man, I do have other responsibilities out here. This ain't my full-time job. I wish it was. I would be going to Windrock and absolutely totaling this thing out. Do you absolutely need to spray the absolute crap out of your side-by-side? No, they don't. But I like mine to be nice and shiny. And anything helps to keep the mud to not stick to this thing, so I don't spend all day and night trying to clean this thing on up. Which is kind of the whole point of this here video. we all want to know, is there a product? Spray on and spray off to make washing not an absolute pain. Well, if you haven't already figured out the answer to that one, the answer is no. A good heavy degreaser will absolutely help that problem. But is it gonna make it a breeze like they try to claim? It does not. I wish it did. I wish it did for everybody's sake. So I did do a good job cleaning this up, because this is usually stained and looks like absolute shit. So I will give them that. If you actually spray it on and wipe it around, you won't use an absolute shit ton of the stuff, or any stuff really. But I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna spray it on heavy, let it soak in and do its thing, whether it leaves some streak marks or not, because no matter what method I do, mud's gonna get on it, pull whatever shine, oils, and everything else off. So, you know, do whatever method that's gonna make you happy in the end. That's all that matters. Spend your money where you want to spend your money, and buy whatever products you want to spend or buy. Duh. So this machine is a little on the older side, so the plastics have taken more of a beating than like a new one would. But I do try to take care of my plastics and keep them looking nice. I do try to take care of my stuff, even though I do tend to beat the crap out of it. So probably all the extra stuff I'd be doing in this video, a lot of people won't do, but that's just me. So I will say, doing this, some people might say it's a waste of time, money, and product, but I can prove you wrong on that one. It might seem like it, but when I tell you, whenever I drove off this thing off the trailer, all the mud that was caked up in this tread just fell off. So some people can say what they want. It makes a difference. Cause yeah, I like it to look all pretty, let it sit in the garage before the next ride and show it pretty. But it really does make a difference. And you ain't gotta do it. I'm just saying. It does work and it's not a waste. Going all heavy and crazy like I am, that might be a waste though. Cause you definitely use less product if you didn't go absolutely crazy like I do. But hey, part of her. I do things my way, you can do your things that way, and we can all have a good time together. Because at the end, that's all that matters. We're doing this to have a good time with our friends and family. Oh. That was one of, there we go. I mean, I still might wipe it down, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Oh, that's a little slippery. Try not to bust our ass while we're making a YouTube video. That would not be on my bingo card. It would make the video a lot more entertaining for you guys. Might as well coat these things up because they just get hammered and not washed very good. And let's go over here in this absolute cluster of mess. And well, here you go. As far as the, I missed the spot. There we go. Good enough. Alright, now for the end of the trifecta, chicken shine shiner. Everything shiny, black, oiled up. All the mud that was on here that took the oils all out of the plastic, all that should just soak right back in. Make it all nice and shiny. I mean, I will probably have some drip marks, kind of like that when it dries up and absorbs, but I don't really care. It's a little bit of extra going with plastic. When everything's shiny, it's kind of what she looks like. You know, this bumper kind of just eats it on up. This textured powder coat, which, yeah, a little transfer, not bad. Tires shiny, plastic shiny, everything shiny. I don't think I did my driver ordeal. I mean, I would say literally looks about how you would expect if you just coated it with tire shine. There we go. Now we're just out here coated head to toe. But I did full video doing all three after it was clearly muddy, start to finish. No bullshit, no swaying. It is what it is. Proof's in the pudding in the video that I'm giving you guys. You can use this information whatever which way you want. Share to your friends, tag them if they're even remotely interested in chicken shine or any other product. If they just have a side-by-side, it's good information to know what all it does. The price is $60 each on chickenshine.net, or you can go to American Power Equipment. They are $45 each. So, you know, you save a nice little chunk of change if you buy it from them for whatever reason. I don't know how they can sell it cheaper than what the actual Chicken Shine website sells it for. Whatever, is what it is. None of my business, as I like to say. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it answered any questions. If it did not, like I said, drop down in the comments. If you made it down this far, I will be putting timestamps in the comments of what product I'm using and when. I might even try to edit the pressure washing part, you know, the more boring parts, into a time lapse if I can get that to work the way I would need it to kind of shorten up the video and kill the boring parts. But as I've already said, drop a like, subscribe, helps me out. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you guys even watching this video, especially if you make it to this part. But until the next time, guys.